All right, it is time to check up on our kitchen garden. This is the 4x4 Gardenary cedar bed, and this has been in for a couple months now. So today is a time to check on it. We're going to bring up the soil level a little bit, add in some seeds where we have blank spaces, and keep this going for the summertime. So far we've had lots of production, tons of Swiss chard, a lot of kale, lots of dill and cilantro. We've had some sugar snap peas, and now it's really time to take the peas out, give the trellis over to the tomatoes and the beans. And if you can see, we actually used a lot of leaves and compost in the base of this garden, and I really want to bring up the soil level. So I'm going to bring you through the steps to care for your garden, to take care of it in between seasons. So we'll go step by step, and you can just follow along and do the same thing in your own garden. So the first thing I'm going to do is clear. That's always my first job. So I'm just taking out, I took out like a little radish here. We have just a couple of, we have these trees that drop this seed that often sprouts. So we have a lot of little like baby trees growing in here. Then I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to cut these extended pea vines and get them out of the garden. So you don't have to pull them up by the root. Excuse me. You don't have to pull them up by the root. I am just simply cutting them at the base and then tugging them out just like that. So that gets our peas out of here. It's going to make room for our tomatoes. Then I just like to go around each plant and I look for weeds. I look for anything that just doesn't need to be there. Any leaves that look a little spent or yellowing. Plants that are kind of struggling, I might go ahead and pull those out. Now that I've done the clearing, the next step would be to treat any pests or disease that you see. I didn't see too much, so what I'm going to do next is just add a little bit of soil to the bed. And I'm going to start with just a simple raised bed mix, and then I'm going to put compost on top. Typically I would just do compost, but I've just noticed that the bed has just gone down way more than I wanted it to. So we're just going to get the soil level up a little bit. All right, so we're getting the soil level back up, which is so nice. Going to support these plants with some more nutrients, and then we're going to put some compost even on top of that. So I try to just dump it in those spots that I just cleaned out. All right, that is looking better. So once we've cleared and we've added some compost, now we're going to replant. So one of the plants I'm really excited about adding is this grocery store basil. If you've ever grown grocery store basil or bought it, you know it. There's way too many plants in just one planter. So we're going to divide it up and distribute it throughout the garden, which I'm so excited for. So we're going to take this, break it into at least 4 sections. Just like that, and then plant this in the 4 corners of her garden. Put one right there. One right here. Oh, I thought I had 4 sections. I need one more. Put one right here. I'm going to break this one into 2. Right there. And now we'll do this one over here. This will be great for summer. You can't have a kitchen garden in the summer without basil in it, right? Okay, next I am gonna need some more, I wanna get some more flowers. But I did have this one left over, so I'm just going to replace. With your annual flowers, you generally need to replace your flowers every season. So I'm just gonna put this vinca here on the end, add a little bit of color. And then I don't think we did chives when we planted before. So I'm gonna add a little bit of chives back here. And this is just a time you can kind of fill in the blank, wherever you have blank spaces. I have this lavender I'm going to use to replace this one lavender that I think didn't do so well. So I think instead of replanting that, I'm just going to give her a new one. All right, so now we're just about ready. Oh, and then I have one more tomato I was going to use because some of these tomatoes are taking a little bit longer than I wanted them to. This one looks nice, the sun gold. This one looks a little slow. So I'm going to add one more right here just to be sure that we get, I want 4 really nice mature tomatoes. Okay, now that we've done that, we're gonna tuck some new seeds in. Then we wanna be sure we label everything. So I have a few pole beans that I thought would be fun to include on this trellis. Pole beans sometimes can go really fast. And so we planted the tomatoes to be like at the, on the middle of each trellis. So I thought, okay, let's try to do one pole bean at the edge of each pole. So I'm going to do that. And again, you don't want to bury it further than an inch. Basically double the width of the seed. All right, so we got some Blue Lake pole beans. Next, we're just gonna do some bush beans that will just fall out over the bed. So, or I might just do these right beside the peppers. So I'm just gonna plant them right in between these peppers and tomatoes. These give you some really nice soil coverage, but they have a different growth habit than your peppers and tomatoes. So they don't take up the same kind of growing space. Now on the edges, I am going to add some calendula and nasturtium. These grow really well from seed, and they're wonderful to have as flowers over the edge. So if you aren't, wanting to buy some new annual flowers for your edges of your garden, calendula and nasturtium are great to add in to the edges. Calendula seed's so cool, it looks like little squids. Some of the best seeds to plant along the edges, or just seeds in general, are those that are bigger. I find sometimes I just have more success with those. All right, now I'm just adding a couple labels to the new things that we planted. Especially the things that are planted from seed. Those are really important to have labels on, because especially when you're planting for someone else, you want them to not be like, is this a weed? Should I pull this? Is this good or bad? Okay, so now I'm just going to clean up the tomatoes a little bit and make sure they're doing good. So this one here, I'm going to show you. We got a little bit too much growth here at the base. So I'm going to cut these back like this. I'm going to cut this one as well. All right, so that should give it more energy toward the top. I'm going to do the same here. looks pretty good. Then this one over here, do the same thing. I'm going to cut this dill back. It's a little too spindly. I'm going to cut this bottom. And again here, and take that out. We don't have radishes anymore. So when you cut these lower leaves, it tells the plant to put its energy toward the plant, toward fruiting, rather than all of its energy toward making more leaves. We don't really want any more leaves at this point. We want it to really focus on production. I'm going to trim this dill back. Okay, so go around here. This pepper is looking really nice. Parsley is looking good. You can prune back a couple lower leaves on your peppers. And then I'm just going to prune a couple of these Swiss chard leaves that look a little spindly, or they're kind of getting in the way of some of our other plants. Just like that. Okay, I am noticing one thing I did accidentally is I kept this pepper plant. There's two here instead of one. I just did a video about this, so I have to actually follow through with my own advice. I can tell it's kind of struggling. So see, this is actually two plants. So we're going to split that like that. And it's not too mature to replant it. So I'm going to get this one in like that. And then we'll put this one down here, right here in the center, like that. Okay, let's see, any other discolored leaves, you want to get rid of them. This one looks a little eaten, so we'll take that one off. Okay, I think we about did it. Oh, we got one more double pepper. So we're going to replant this one. Just like that. Get this one back in. Then it'll be a good experiment, right, to see how it does now that it has more room. And the good news is, because we pulled out so many spring crops, we now have more room to plant. Okay, so I think we are about through here. Now I'm just going to use my little broom and clean this up. Then the next step would be to keep this really well watered for the next 2 weeks. You don't want to let this bed dry out because of all the seeds we added. Alrighty, so I think we're good. Lots growing. Now we get to look forward to a new season. We had a great first probably 2 months in this little space, and the summer is not even here yet. So I hope this encourages you. This is a nice little routine to do really every 2 months in your garden. Clear it, add compost, clean up the old plants, add new plants, and then add new seeds. Label everything, water it all in, clean up. You're ready to grow to the next season.